All right, so today I'm going to do a screencast of a little data analysis project. There's an initiative in our community that's been going on for a little while called TidyTuesday, where they kind of release a data set every week, and everybody is sort of free to explore it, make a plot, and it's really focused on using this meta package called the Tidyverse, which you're probably familiar with if you know about R. So the guidelines are pretty simple. It's just to do an image, just kind of play around, explore the data. So I thought I would do it live just to um, kind of demonstrate what my normal workflow looks like. Um, so this is my first time doing Tidy Tuesday. The data set for this week is on incarceration. The official GitHub repository for Tidy Tuesday is here at R4 Data Science / Tidy Tuesday, and I've forked that into my own repository just so I can have my own copy. And then I pulled that down, and that's about all we've got so far. So let's go to R and just start looking at what we've got. So we're going to go ahead and load the tidyverse and the FS package, which is for file system manipulation. And we've got a set of folders here under the repository that have all the data. You can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sort of summary files that we're going to want to load. So let's go and set up a path from the main directory. So it's going to be under data 2019. So like I said, I'm using the FS library. I think when I was at the RStudio conference, Jenny Bryan specifically kind of was chiding people who use paste and things like that to set up their file paths, which is exactly what I've been doing. So I'm not really comfortable with the FS library yet, but we'll try it out and see how it goes. So now we're going to want to load in, let's just load in some data. So let's say, see, this is what I'm talking about. So I think the way you do this is we're going to do this, and then we're going to do incarceration trends. CS. I think it's like this. Did that work or not? No, we've got this like, we got this weird, oh, because I did all of this. Let's try that. Does that work? Okay. So we've at least got a path, and then we can do read CSV on that, right? Let's take a look at the head just to see what the data looks like. Whoa, 71 more variables is huge. Any guess at what YFIPS is? Or FIPS or state? There's all sorts of stuff. Wow. Okay, so that's a really big table. Let's look at the others. So the pretrial population. And we'll do that for let's get it all read in. Pretrial summary. And we'll do it for the prison data as well. going to try to just use find and replace here. In selection, all. Okay. So we can see if we look at the upper right here that that incarceration table is by far the most variables. The other ones are the pretrial population and the prison population are very long tables, but there's only 9 variables. And the pretrial summary only has 4. So let's just look at the pretrial summary first because it's the simplest. So we've got a year, an urbanicity, a category, male, female, and total. I don't really like the way that's split up, do we? And the rate per 1,000. So I already see a chance to sort of rearrange that data a little bit. It seems very strange to have it split up like that. Let's look at the head of one of these other ones, like the population ones. So here we've got year, state, county, name, urbanicity again, region. Okay, so these are, I can see that these are sort of summaries. I don't know what this last column is, but we'll take a look at it and we'll see what we get. Okay, so there's another nice package. I think it's called Skimr. And I've used this one a little bit. We're gonna load it, don't we? Actually, let's just put that up here in the code. And then we can do like skim the trial. And it will generate some nice tables for us. So it's kind of like a different version of summary. So you can see that it tells us we have the number of observations and the number of variables, how many are missing, how many are complete. The minute, you know, for each of these min, max, everything, number unique. So there's 1,876 unique counties, 51 states. I assume that means there's Puerto Rico or something like that in there. 4 different levels of urbanicity. And yeah, those are the character variables, and then numeric or population, pretrial, year. It also gives you this histogram for each of the numeric variables, which is a little interesting, I guess, but they look a little odd here. Okay. Let's just play around with the prison population data first a little bit. So let's take the prison. Well, what are the heads? What are the categories in prison population? So we've got year, county, urbanicity. So let's just do something simple, and let's do like a. I'm worried about this category. Well, let's see. So let's start with the prison population. And let's group by urbanicity. And summarize population and add it up by urbanicity and see what we get. Oh, do we have missing values? It's kind of weird that we would get NAs there. Yep. do filter. Okay, so this looks like we've got really, really big numbers, which seems unrealistic. So I'm wondering if there's something going on with this category. Because you see it says pop category, right? Yeah, so exactly. This is what I was a little nervous about. So if we look at the unique values in that, you can see that there is a total, but then it's split up by ethnicity, by gender. That seems kind of a mess, doesn't it? But we can, let's just add it to the other filter. So we can just take the totals, right? So we can say pop category equals total. Okay, so that's changed the numbers quite a bit. What are we at now? I mean, they're still quite large. What is, you see what I mean? Like we're talking about like it looks like a billion. That seems, oh, it's over the years too, isn't it? Because we've got, yeah, so we've got years, states, everything, right? So we might want to do it for like a given year, or we could group by urbanicity and year. That looks a little more realistic. So now what we're seeing is we've got every year the population and the urbanicity. So this is starting to look like something we might want to just visualize. Let's go ahead and make a plot real quick. So let's go, we're going to ggplot. We'll do the X is the year, Y is total population, and we'll do color is urbanicity. We'll just do a line for now. Oh, there's another package I really like. Can't remember if it's capital V or not. Yeah, so lowercase v. Viridis is just a nice set of color palettes that I kind of like, so we'll go ahead and load that. Let's just put this on a new line. So we're going to use scale color Viridis D because it's a discrete factor. The urbanicity should be a factor, I believe. Oh, and I like the minimal theme. Okay, so we've got our first plot. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that and take a look at it. It's a little bright after looking at that dark R. So hopefully you can see this. The lines are a little thin. How do I set the width of a line? I don't remember. Is it size or, well, we want those big fat ones. Size, yeah, okay. Let's fix that, and then we'll just make them nice and big. Big and fat for right now. Okay, so simple plot, but we've got something going on. So we can see that it looks like the prison population, total population, is increasing over time. It's highest in urban, second in small to mid, a little lower in suburban and very low in rural, and actually increasing even less in rural. So that's a little bit interesting. What if we wanted to look at it by state? We can use almost the exact same code, I think. We just need to group by state instead of urbanicity. There's going to be a lot of colors here, yeah. So one of the issues with this now, of course, is that it gets much harder to visualize when you got 50 of them stacked up on top of one another. It also looks like there's one state that's really super high, but I don't know what that one is. Now, we can try this with Plotly. That needed a bunch of stuff to install. So ggplotly. I think we just wrap the whole thing in a ggplotly call, and that should give us what I'm thinking. Yep. Okay, so that's California. This is one of the things I like about Plotly, is it gives you this hover ability. So we can hover over the data, and then we get this pop-up window. So we can see California has kind of by far the most people incarcerated, followed, looks like, by Texas, although New York was, that's really kind of interesting, isn't it? So New York is flat, and it looks like in about 1995 is where they crossed. So then Texas became second, and New York is third. New York is still third, and then Florida. So it looks like there's something about, I mean, the total state population in California is obviously pretty high. It's a little interesting that maybe a liberal-leaning state like California has such a high rate of incarceration. Something to think about. So it's pretty cool. So I don't know, if you're familiar with Plotly or not, but you can do things like double-click on your legend to isolate data. So if we wanted to just see California, we can click there. I think we can also just click once. Doesn't seem to be updating very well. Sometimes when you don't have it in a page, it can be a little not functional, but anyway, so you can click on certain things. We can put just California, just Florida, and kind of compare them. It's a cool thing, and then you can save these plots out if you like. Plotly is super cool. And you can see it was really easy to use. If you haven't used Plotly before, you just call library Plotly, and then you wrap your ggplot call in this ggplotly command. Super, super nice. Okay, so what else would we like to look at? Let's go back for a minute and see what is going on in this data. So what we're looking at now is the county level data for the prison population. I guess we could have used the prison summary instead of starting from the prison population data, but we just kind of did a quick summary table ourselves. That's fine. Maybe we'd want to look at it by race. Is that total? This one is by state. Let's look at population by, let's do gender first. So in this case, we're going to have to change some more. I like looking at it by year. I think that's kind of interesting. So this one had, what was the pop category, right? In this case, we're going to take female or male. I'm going to assume that it's binary gender. I guess that's not a great assumption, but, well, we looked at it farther up here somewhere, right? It was unique. I guess there is, it's unclear to me if other has to do with the ethnicity or the gender, right? I don't think it says race, gender, or total for that one. Race, gender, see, it just says race, gender, or total, but there is this other. I guess we'll just take females and males, and we'll kind of, unfortunately, leave out any non-binary gender. We're going to group by, let's do the, I think we want to do, here we want to do the group by after the filter. And then we're going to color this by, maybe that'll be it. Okay, there we have it. So, interestingly, it's showing that there are slightly more females than males. Unless I did my filter wrong. That's kind of a surprise. Okay, so what else should we like to look at? I mean, I saw a really cool thing from David Robinson. Right, so he had it plotted on county level. I mean, he's amazing. So if you get a chance, you can check out his video too. He did kind of the same thing, a screencast like this. And his county level plots, which are really super awesome. So you can check those out. He points out in his tweet there that he went a really long time without saving the data, and I'm sitting here doing the same thing. Let's just go ahead and save that script. We don't get anybody chirping at us. Just check it. Okay. What else can I mean, we've just been planning out this prison population, but I guess there is, it'd be kind of interesting to me to see some comparison between people in prison and people in pretrial. So if we look at the pretrial, we've got female male total, and if we look at prison, we've got the same sort of thing, although it's unclear to me if the prison summary starts in the same year. There's also some more stuff going on with the categories here. But I think it might be kind of interesting to do a join between those two to look at the pretrial and prison population. And I think we'll do that as kind of our main output. So let's see. So let's just do one more. We're going to do pretrial plus prison by year. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to start from the pretrial summary, and we're going to do a filter again for the population category and just pull the total out of there. Yeah, I think that's all we want. And we can pipe that out to and then let's do the same for prison summary. I guess we can kind of get rid of the category at that point. So we'll just do the select minus there, which I think will do it. We got this rate per thousand. I guess that's true. We only really want the okay, well let's just do it. Do we need to do a group by first? I'm not sure if we have to do this group by, but let's do it anyway. We're going to group it by the year and the urbanicity for both. I'm in danger of too much copy and paste here as well. Okay, we're going to left join the see what that looks like if it works. Okay, so if we do the left join, we can see now that I think we've dropped a bunch of the years. The rate per 100,000 X is going to be from the prison table, and the Y will be from the pretrial. So let's rename those. And I think we're probably gonna do a gather here too before we plot it out. Let's just call this prison and call this pretrial. Now gather, I can never quite recall the syntax. Equals, we're going to call this category, and the value is going to be, well, either prison or pretrial. I don't know if this is going to work. I can't ever quite remember the gather syntax. Yeah. I mean, this part should work, right? Yeah, so we got prison and pretrial. And the dot 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 is a selection of Not sure if this is right. Didn't that work? Did that work? Maybe. Let's just see what happens. So now if we plot it, we'll do x is the year, y equals the rate, color is the category. Whoa! That's jumping all over the place. What has happened to this? Why do we have multiple rates? Is that because we've got the... do you think that we have each of the rates for the different urbanicities in there? So we should probably do another summarize. Just to get a total. I guess we could do like a geom point. What happens if we do this? Well, we're getting somewhere, but I still don't like it. Let's flip these around. Yeah, I mean, I thought that what's the outline? Does it have to be in the point? No, it's not. As usual, we're off to Stack Overflow. Color, yeah, it's setting it in the fill control. Okay, well, let's just try to set it in the set all of the color information in the point call. Yeah, it doesn't look like much to me. Like both of them are showing up as black. But I guess you can see that the prison population is a group on the top and the pretrial population is the group on the bottom. So it looks like, especially in urban areas, the prison population is growing faster than the pretrial population, but it seems to have leveled out and is decreasing. And what else can we say here? I don't like this plot as much as some of the others. But it is what it is. Alright. I'm sure no one is still watching, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there for this week. Like I said, it's my first Tidy Tuesday. Pretty simple analysis, just some line and bar plots. Hopefully, though, you learned something interesting. Maybe it was the skim package, skimr package, or Veritas color palettes, or Plotly for those interactive plots. Yeah. I'll see you next week.